mic goes on,
And
you
then
speak, and then it goes off again. Let me see how it. Yeah, just you press it once.
so it
Then
should be
you,
ready here.
actually you can leave it on until all
so
of
that
you
everybody
finish.
finishes.
Yeah, we'll make sure that it's on until everybody's finished.
May all rise for the national anthem. May we be seated?
Sanbonan, focus, nabongci. Focus, focus abasukume sibabona. Sifuna kucheka tinamba kusasa focus, stand up. Bongci, stand up. Ngomani. Ungakuwe. Basi ungalala ungakuphi kasha.
We may be seated. Honorable members and distinguished guests, in terms of Rule 10 of the Rules and Orders of this legislature, I now invite the ministers of different religious persuasions to lead the House in prayer.
Inkomo, hinkwerhu a hi pfalani mahlo hi ta khongela. Evitweni ra tatana ni ra n'wana ni ra moya lowo kwetsima, Xikwembu xa hina lexi hanyaka xa le matilweni, ha ku khongela namuntlha se hi ri kona endlwini ya milawu. Xikwembu xa hina hi rhamba moya lowo kwetsima hosi, xika wu va kona n'wini wa vutomi. Tana u ta hi nyika vutlhari ku fana na vutlhari lebyi nga kombela hi hosi Solomon. Tatana hi pfuni ku famba kahle endleleni leyinene n'wini wa vutomi. Hi pfuna Xikwembu xa ku vonakala hi leri tiko ra wena ri hlanganile n'wini wanga. Hi lebyi vurhangeri Xikwembu xa matimba hinkwawo se u ri kona hosi yanga hi vito ra Yesu Kreste. Hi khesta moya hinkwayo ya madimoni madlozli leyi nga tshukaka yi disturba entirhweni hinkwawo. Hosi ya vutomi hinkwabyo chika u va kona hi rhumela moya lowo kwetsima a ta ta hi pfuna n'wini wa matimba ku fambisa ntirho lowu. U Xikwembu xa kahle, u Xikwembu xa ku tshembeka, u te hinkwavo lava tshembeke wena. N'wini wa matimba va nge tshuki va xaniseka, kambe va ta fana ni ntshava ya Siyoni leyi nga ta yima eminkarhi hinkwayo yi nga tsekatsekisiwi. Tatana wa hosi ya hina Yesu Kreste ha ku khongela hi pfuneka nkarhi lowu n'wini wa matimba loko a hi nyike nkarhi hi wu tirhisa kahle hi vukheta, nakambe Xikwembu xa ku vonakala hi famba kahle endleleni ya wena. Hi pfune evitweni ra tatana ni ra n'wana ni ra moya lowo kwetsima, hinkwerhu a hi nge amen.
O thou kind Lord, thou hast created all humanity from the same stock. Thou hast decreed that all shall belong to the same household. In thy holy presence they are all thy servants, and all mankind are sheltered beneath thy tabernacle. All have gathered together at thy table of bounty. All are illumined through the light of thy providence. O God, thou art kind to all, thou hast provided for all, thus shelter all, conferrest life upon all. Thou hast endowed each and all with talents and faculties, and all are submerged in the ocean of thy mercy. O thou kind Lord, unite all, let the religions agree, and make the nations one, that they may see each other as one family, and the whole earth as one home. May they all live together in perfect harmony. O God, raise aloft the banner of the oneness of mankind. O God, establish the most great peace. Cement thou, O God, the hearts together. O thou kind Father God, Gladden our hearts through the fragrance of thy love. Brighten our eyes through the light of thy guidance. Delight our ears with the melody of thy word. And shelter us all in the stronghold of thy providence. Thou art the mighty and powerful. Thou art the forgiving. And thou art the one who overlooketh the shortcomings of all mankind.
Namaste, meaning the divine in me bows to the divine in you. Om Purva Swaha Tatsva Viturvarenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. We meditate on the glory of the Creator who has created the universe, who is worthy of worship, who is embodiment of knowledge and light, who is remover of sin and ignorance. May that Supreme God open our hearts and enlighten our intellect in the right direction. May our Honorable Premier, our Cabinet, with the support of the departments to which all of us rightly turn to for leadership, be blessed with extraordinary foresight, collaborative compassion, selfless service, unwavering determination, and intuitive wisdom to craft innovative solutions to the various provincial challenges through the all-pervasive divine grace of Supreme Lord. It may be appropriate to quote our beloved Madiba, whether you change the linen or stitch up wounds, cook the food or dispense the medicines, it is in your hands to help build a public service worthy of all those who gave their lives for the dream of democracy. May he continue to walk with us and guide us in all our endeavors to achieve a better life for all. I would like to conclude with this beautiful prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all be prosperous and happy. May all be free from illness. May all experience auspiciousness. May no one suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace. May this heavenly prosperity and peace bless our beautiful province and our nation. Namaste.
Kwami kuncane kakhulu ngiyokuhlonipha lokukhulu ngicela kuwena siguce phasi lisoko lami lithi siphahla sihleli phansi. Kuhle bogogo singenile phakathi kwenje sishabathethe sibusane nemhlangano nokasabili
Thokoza
sekuhle lesikhathi
Thokoza.
lapho singenile eParliament ngisosha umthetho sethu kungabi khona hlakithini
Thokoza.
sonke
Thokoza go.
sinza ndinochingamisa nyamasi ndinopuchukana kunakirai ndinokubokera kungena pakati kanyiko ndiri pakati kamusekuri vasekuru vako vanga vana vokusenzera ndinopindisa zuva ndinokuchekemera pakati kanyiko ndinokuvona kungenera pakati kanzumba ndinokubongera kausvo indizwai hindaramawe ndinokubongera ndinokupindira sure hindaramawe. Ngibongile konke kwami sekuphelele uma ningakangiva sesitawuthola nangaphandle sonke sidathi sithokoza.
Thank you for the prayers rendered. Honorable members, Rule 9, Sub-Rule 1 of the Rules and Orders of the Legislature provides that The Speaker must inform the legislature of the time and the date on which the Premier must deliver the State of the Province address, and the House proceeding must be suspended until the Premier has delivered the State of the Province address, unless
Yes,
the
before.
Speaker, in consultation with the Premier, decides otherwise. Honorable members, in accordance with Rule 9, Sub-Rule 1 of the Rules and Orders of Mpumalanga Legislature, I have received a request from the Honorable Premier to convene this sitting of the Legislature to enable her to deliver the State of the Province address, and I have acceded to the request. I now have a pleasure of inviting the Honorable
Honourable
Premier
Speaker, Honourable
of
Speaker.
Mpumalanga Province.
Before that,
Honorable Setibe, what is the point of order?
it's not a point of order because I want to respect the decorum of the House.
On which rule are you standing?
I'm rising on Rule 2341, recognition of the leader of the official opposition, which is myself.
Let me quickly go to that rule, Honorable Setibe.
Yeah, Honourable Speaker, just
No.
before you waste time, must I wait before you read?
No, don't talk. I was in that role. You were recognized as the leader of the opposition, but why are you standing? Because you know the rules. You
Who
are the
recognized
leader
me?
of the opposition.
I was not recognized. It's only now that I'm asking for recognition as a leader of the official opposition.
Yes,
Check
you-
the rule.
Yes, you are
So
the
I'm
leader.
rising here, Honourable Speaker, to appreciate and thank you for the cost curtailment measure that we have done, like we have seen in the previous years, wherein we have spent a lot of millions of rands for such events.
Point of
Thank
order,
you.
Speaker. Point of order.
Point of order. You may take your seat. Honorable
Can the
Mlombo.
honourable member sit down? Honourable Speaker, on the order paper, we've got only one item, the address by the honourable Premier. We do not have an item that would be addressed by Honourable Member Sidibe. So Honourable Member Sidibe, it's out of order, and he must sit down and allow the Speaker to run with the program. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mlombo. Honorable Sedibe, the point of order is sustained.
In which
Take your
level?
seat.
Because the rule allows you to recognize me. Unless you get your lawyers to interpret for you.
No.
And I think it's out of order. The reason I'm standing before
Honor-
you call, just a second, before you call the Premier, is exactly that I don't want to disturb the Premier when he's speaking. Once you call her, you must listen attentively to her. But I just want to appreciate the work that we have done as a speaker. We are the most progressive speaker I've ever seen since I arrived in this parliament. Because the rest of them
Point of order.
Honourable
use
Sedi-
the state man, the
Honourable-
taxpayers'
Point of
money.
order.
Honorable
Speaker.
Sedibe,
We have
I've said-
cancelled the Durban July. I want to
Point of
affirm.
order.
Honorable Sedibe,
Yes.
I've said the point of order is sustained. May you please
On
take
which
your
ground?
seat?
On which ground?
May you please
Remember, I'm
take
a
your seat?
leader of official opposition. I've got the right to talk. The
Hon-
rules says you must recognize me. Do you recognize me?
Honorable Sedibe,
Do you recognize me? According to our rule book, our own rule book. You must recognize my
Honorable
language.
Sedibe, I've recognized you, and now there was a point of order. Then I've said
It
the
is
point
not
of order is
sustained
sustained.
because I'm not speaking when the Premier
know
is
the
speaking.
rules.
It's not, I'm not speaking whilst the Premier
I
is
now
speaking.
ask you, Honorable Sedibe, for the second time.
To sit down.
Yes.
But you are suppressing me. It's fine. Because I want a peaceful
Honorable
process.
Sedibe,
Thank you.
I now ask you for the third.
But thank you for fighting corruption. We'll talk them in and out.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now have the pleasure in inviting the Honorable Premier of Mpumalanga Province, Mrs. R.M. Tsipane, to deliver the State of the Province address. Honorable Premier.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Honorable Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the Legislature, Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party, ministers and deputy ministers in our midst, members of the National Assembly present, members of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, colleagues in the Mpumalanga Executive Council, executive mayors and councillors, the provincial chairperson of SALGA, provincial Judge President Justice Francis Lukhodi, and all esteemed members of the judiciary, Provincial Commissioner General Zuma, the Consular Attaché of the Republic of Mozambique, Excellencies, representatives of the Republic of Cuba, Excellencies, representatives of the Russian Federation, members of the Diplomatic Corps, His Majesty Ingwenyama Makosonke Wesibili, His Majesty Ingwenyama Mabogo Wesithathu, the Chairperson of the National House of Traditional Leaders, Inkosi S.E. Mahlangu, President of Contralesa, Hoshi Mukwena, the Chairperson of the Mpumalanga Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, Inkosi Ungomane, the Acting Director General, Mr. Kiboni Masange, and all provincial heads of Mpumalanga government, chairpersons and CEOs of parastatals and other Chapter 9 institutions, the acting chairperson of the Public Service Commission in Mpumalanga, the leadership of the African National Congress, represented by the acting chairperson, Comrade Mandla Ndlovu, the veterans of our struggle for freedom, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sanbonan. Madam Speaker, it is not only a privilege but also a great honor to stand before this august house addressing you, the people of the beautiful province of Mpumalanga, the province of the rising sun. We are gathered here today during the month when the whole country is celebrating 30 years since the founding father of our nation, an icon and the first president of the democratic South Africa, Utata Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, was released from prison. His first steps as a free man marked the beginning of the end of white minority rule in this country and ushered in a new dawn that culminated with first democratic elections based on the universal suffrage of one man, one vote, regardless of race, creed, and gender. Whilst a lot has been achieved since 1994, a lot more remains to be done. As a rainbow nation, if we stand together, united behind a vision that was created by Utata Madiba, a vision of free, non-racial, non-sexist, and democratic South Africa, we can overcome all challenges, which includes the widespread poverty and corruption, chronic unemployment, and obscene levels of inequality. We must continue to work tirelessly to build an economy that is inclusive, where no citizen of this province goes to bed on an empty stomach. It is against this background that I stand before you today, not as a prophet of the proverbial wise woman from the east where the sun rises, but as your humble servant. A servant whose passion and commitment is informed by nothing but the innate desire to diligently serve the people of Mpumalanga province with honor, humility, dignity, integrity, and dedication. I have always been driven and motivated by the sense of wanting to serve our people in whatever capacity my organization, the African National Congress, has deployed me to serve. I will continue to do so as long as the glorious movement of our forefathers and foremothers, Bontate Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, Omama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Albertina Sisulu, Lillian Ngoyi, and Helen Joseph deploys me. As we usher in the new decade, we must take stock of our achievements and shortcomings, learn from those shortcomings, and consolidate our gains as we set our eyes firmly on the developmental goals that we endeavor to achieve by the year 2030. We have worked very hard and will continue to work tirelessly towards the attainment of the noble vision of a better life for all. This vision is the hallmark of our struggle for freedom since the formation of the African National Congress in 1912. We will be the first to admit that our political gains are yet to be felt and enjoyed by everyone through inclusive economic growth. Tremendous and undeniable progress has been made during the past 25 years of our democracy. However, some of our gains are facing a risk of being reversed by geopolitical and economic circumstances within and beyond our borders. We have also made some policy choices that may have derailed our progress, forcing us to rethink and revisit our strategies. The problems that have beset our national state-owned enterprises, including but not limited to ESCOM, the SAA, Transnet and PRASA, and others are a serious cause for concern. We have confidence that the teams that have been appointed to tackle the challenges faced by our SOEs, in particular ESCOM, which is the engine of our economic growth, will soon find a workable solution. Madam Speaker, this year under review is captured succinctly in Charles Dickinson's seminal book, A Tale of Two Cities, in which he wrote, and I quote, open quote, "It was the best of time, it was the worst of times," close quote. For our province, it was the best of times because for the first time in our history, the matric class of 2019 managed to break through the ceiling of the 80% pass mark, making us very proud of our students, teachers, and parents. Mpumalanga is one of the top 6 provinces that have broken this record. We are now aiming higher than 80% for the class of 2020. Credit should go to the Department of Education under the stewardship of MEC Bonagele Machuba and his management team. The much welcomed improvements in our matric performance came as a result of hard work and perseverance by our teachers and officials. Their hard work was also rewarded during the National Teachers Awards, which was held in Pretoria recently, when Mpumalanga Province walked away with coveted teaching awards in 4 different categories. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in celebrating the outstanding achievements by our teachers. I will ask them as I read their names to stand up and be recognized by this august house. Ms. Louise Fullard from Hoërskool Bergvlam walked away with a top position in the category of Excellence in ICT Enhanced Technology. Ms. Marcia Mtombeni from Bani Khosa Secondary School was awarded top-notch in the category Excellency in Teaching Natural Sciences. Ms. Caroline Engelbrecht walked away with a top position in the category Excellency in Teaching Special Needs. Mr. Jacobus Johannes Duplessis van Rensberg was awarded a top position in the category of Lifetime Achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request once more that we put our hands together in congratulating these 4 exceptional educators whose contribution to learning and teaching surpasses our own expectations. To appreciate their selfless contribution to our nation building, the province will donate 10,000 rand to each of them as a token of appreciation. Let's give them a round of applause once more. Thank you very much. In pursuit of our developmental path, we have continued to prioritize the needs of the most vulnerable amongst us. We have made tremendous progress in the provision of social protection net for the most vulnerable groups of our society. We have built learning institutions and continue to provide free quality education for all. We have continued to build libraries that became the fountain of knowledge and wisdom. We continue to construct roads and bridges that connect communities and serve as economic arteries. We continue to build clinics and hospitals that support life and bring hope to the hopeless. We continue to construct early childhood learning centers that are the foundation for the quality education. We continue to build houses and integrated human settlements, and by so doing, restore the dignity of our people by ensuring that they possess title deeds. Madam Speaker, it was the worst of times as we continued to grapple with the scourge of gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is a scourge that is destroying our moral fiber as a nation. It is also a scourge that robs our nation of a prosperous future. We are fully in support of President Ramaphosa's call made during the State of the Nation address for promulgation of the Domestic Violence Amendment Act that will better protect victims and survivors of gender-based violence. We therefore call upon the people of Mpumalanga to name and shame convicted perpetrators of gender-based violence. There must be no safe haven for perpetrators of all forms of gender-based violence in our communities. Last year, Madam Speaker, we committed ourselves toward establishing a capable, ethical, and developmental state. In that regard, we decided to undertake a skills audit in both the municipalities and provincial government. This is in our effort to professionalize the spheres of government. We are still committed to ensure that public servants are capacitated to carry out their tasks so as to enable us to give effect to the constitutional mandate. Madam Speaker, we committed ourselves to developmental imperatives that drive innovation and the digital revolution, to increase levels of investment in the economy, to accelerate the provision of infrastructure to support the economy and create the much more needed jobs. Such imperatives should also transform and diversify all sectors of our economy, consolidate support for small businesses and cooperatives, as well as grow our township and village economy. It should also translate into improved basic services, better education, make our people live healthier and longer lives, provide shelter over their heads, provide social security, and promote social cohesion. Our social wage has played a significant role in our effort to reduce poverty and inequality. Madam Speaker, the proverbial elephant in the room is the unacceptably high levels of unemployment and in particular youth unemployment. Mpumalanga's unemployment rate was the third highest amongst the 9 provinces at the end of Q4 in 2014 at 33.6%. We are committed to exploring new ways to stimulate our economy and create work opportunities. As we do this, it is important to also take cognizance of the fact that we anticipate more job losses in the mining sector, which is one of the most biggest contributors to the provincial economy. These job losses will be attributable to mines reaching their the end of their operational lifespan. In order to mitigate the socio-economic consequences of the closure of mines, the provincial government, in collaboration with the Department of Mineral Resources and through the Premier's Mining Forum, will actively engage mining houses to ensure that they comply with the legislated requirement to establish a rehabilitation fund for the restoration of operational land upon ceasing their mining operations. This will enable us to repurpose the use of land from mining to agriculture, and by so doing, create employment opportunities for our people. This will also end the rapid deterioration of former mining towns across the province. Furthermore, the provincial government has taken a firm decision to embark on the following short-term interventions to stimulate economic participation and ultimately creating jobs. MRTT, in partnership with the private sector, will increase the number of youth who are put on short-term skills development courses like plumbing, painting, electrical, bricklaying, plastering, hospitality, and other initially targeting those who may have left school between grade 8 to grade 12. These young people will be deployed to hospitals, our clinics, our schools, and all government buildings to do maintenance and all necessary repairs. We are targeting at least 50,000 young people to be skilled by government and the private sector during the next 3 years. Our strategic partnership in the private sector have indicated that they will upskill young people on areas which are related to their operation. We will elaborate further on this later. Madam Speaker, at the advent of this administration, we indicated that the Youth Development Fund shall be established. To this effect, 10 million rand had been set aside during the 2019-20 budget adjustment. A further 40 million will be apportioned in the 2020-21 financial year in continuation of this initiative. The land question, which is the most polarizing issue in this country, is receiving adequate attention. Parliament is processing the amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution that deals with the matter of land expropriation without compensation. Public hearings are ongoing, and we will soon take it through the necessary legislative requirements. Since 1994, we have made modest but very significant progress on land reforms through our land restitution and land redistribution programs. Hundreds of thousands of hectares have been distributed to the rightful owners using these two tools. Working together with Amakosi, government shall continue in ensuring that communities in rural areas also enjoy the privileges promised in the Constitution. We will continue to review and improve the working conditions of our traditional leaders, improve working relations, and to share in their indigenous wisdom in crafting and passing laws that protect and advance the good cause in our society. Madam Speaker, we are on a mission to industrialize our province. This will be done by implementing the Mpumalanga Industrial Development Plan, which is aimed at promoting the development and establishment of industrial technology parks for the prioritized areas, with the primary focus on agriculture and forestry, mining and metals, and petrochemicals. Linked to this is the commitment to supporting township and rural economies, as well as small businesses. In this regard, our priority projects remains the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market and its associated agri-hubs, as well as the Nkomazi SEZ. It is imperative now more than ever for us to ensure that our catalytical projects such as the Nkomazi SEZ and the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market are strategically positioned not only to stimulate economic activity, but also to create sustainable working opportunities for our people. We will further tap into the green economy, which will bring a myriad of new opportunities where waste streams are turned into input streams for a new economic intervention, leading ultimately to a zero-waste industrial ecosystem. Madam Speaker, in an effort to address the triple challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment, we are in a process of optimizing the holistic value proposition of the tourism industry in our province. We are blessed with a province that is home to a unique blend of cultural and historical heritage. Indeed, the province of the rising sun is home to a melting pot of culture, arts, historic and geological treasures. The importance of tourism is evidenced by its significant contribution to the provincial GDP. Tourism contributed approximately 7% to the GDP of the province. Our marketing efforts have resulted in the province receiving an increased number of international arrivals. The total number of international tourists who visited Mpumalanga increased from 1.5 million in 2017 to 1.6 million in 2018. Most of our visitors came from Mozambique, the Kingdom of Eswatini, the USA, Germany, and the United Kingdom. Mpumalanga recorded an increased number of domestic tourism trips at 2.9 million in 2018 when compared to 2.2 million in 2017. Our key source provinces were Gauteng, followed by Limpopo, and then our own people in the province. Our province is now recorded as the second fastest growing at 64.1%, and it should be stressed that more domestic trips actually originated from the province. The second quarter of 2019 has also shown a positive growth in the number of international tourist arrivals to our province when compared to the same period in 2018. In moving with times and diversifying our tourism offsprings, we will start the process of ensuring that our tourism attractions are broadened to attract the cosmopolitan and upwardly mobile tourists who seek a holistic tourism experience. In order for this strategy to succeed, we will be paying heightened attention to the safety of tourists and infrastructural development in our province. The safety of tourists in the province remains one of our biggest challenges and requires urgent attention by all relevant stakeholders. Since June 2019 to date, a total of 49 crimes against tourists were reported in the province. This means that we must devote resources to tackle acts of criminality and encounter the perception that Mpumalanga is an unsafe tourist destination. In this regard, a focused collaboration with the South African police services and private sector needs to be reinforced. To tackle this problem head-on, we have constituted the Tourism Safety Forum that looks at the safety of tourists in the province. As the provincial government, we pledge our support to all efforts aimed at eradicating the criminal elements that threaten one of our most important economic drivers. Another area of concern is the poor maintenance and upgrading of the tourism infrastructure, particularly the roads in our tourism routes. This is another contributing factor that has the potential to affect tourists' arrival in the province. Madam Speaker, there can be no sustainable economic growth without concomitant investment in our infrastructure. In the past 5 years, we have invested over 4 billion rand in improving our economic and social infrastructure. In the next financial year, we shall invest over 5 billion rand to infrastructural projects that will aid our efforts to ensure that we create a conducive environment for socio-economic development and inclusive growth. Furthermore, we have noted with grave concern the dilapidation of some of our infrastructure. To this effect, all departments will ring-fence 2% of their capital budget and appropriation for maintenance of our infrastructure. Madam Speaker, the notion that agricultural development is an integral component and catalyst of broader economic and infrastructural transformation is now widely accepted and supported by evidence observed by the World Bank in other areas like Asia and South America. The global demand of our agricultural product is consistently increasing. We therefore need to increase our production in order to grow our net export market share. There must be a strong and strategic collaboration between us as policymakers, farmers of all sizes and shape, and civil society organizations to collectively create a sustainable solution for this critical sector. We have successfully negotiated with the Sultanate of Oman to purchase our agricultural produce. During our recent visit to that Gulf state, we took along a number of emerging and commercial farmers who are now in the process of signing off-takes agreements with the distributors and wholesalers in Oman. We will continue to reconfigure and restructure our support for emerging farmers in order to ensure that they are flexible enough to meet the constantly evolving needs of the international fresh produce market. We will continue to ensure that our small and emerging farmers are given opportunities to actively participate in agricultural space. We will provide herds of cattle, goats, pigs, and poultry, along with critical tools of trade, such as tractors and other implements, to ensure that success of their farming enterprise. As a condition of our support, emerging farmers will be obligated to complete training programs offered by accredited agri-sitters. We will also be expanding a Fortune 40 Youth Incubation Program with the understanding that half of this farm should be self-sufficient and not dependent on government grants in future. Incubation, by its definition, means at some point those who have been receiving support and training should stand on their feet. We simply cannot allow such program to become bottomless holes. Fortune 40 program has a specific focus on developing young entrepreneurs in farming. It has a wide array of agricultural activities that includes farming with various commodities, including vegetables, poultry, livestock development, and tractor mechanics. This program has managed to link 12 of these farms to establish markets that includes retailers like your Spars, ShopRites, Boxers, wholesalers, agri-hubs, and other markets. The other farms are at different levels of development and linked to the local markets like the hawkers, and small retailers. All the Fortune 40 farms are continuously provided with extension and advisory services. The youth on these farms are at different levels of training, and some are in full management of the farms. In addition, some of the learners have completed their agri-sitter learnership programs and graduated last month. The province has, in the last 10 months, focused on the 11 new farms that the department has identified and are currently at different stages of development. Fortune 40 programs continue to create much-needed jobs for the youth. It plays a role in the alleviation of poverty and improves food security. Through the Fortune 40 Youth Incubation Program, we must capitalize on innovation and improve the efficiency of agricultural production. Madam Speaker, We promise the people of this beautiful province that we will build them agri-hubs in all 3 districts. I am proud to announce that the Mkutlu Agri-Hub in Bushbuckridge is operational and offers several markets that includes the local supermarkets, retailers, and national markets. The Agri-Hub is a key and strategic element of the provincial government nutrition program. The Mkondo Agri-Hub in Khartsibande is completed and partially operational. The Agri-Hub will be fully operational in the next financial year. Government is also conducting a feasibility study for the establishment of the Agri-Hub in the Nkomazi municipality. A budget of 15 million rand for the first phase of the Agri-Hub and the conversion of the other to the pack house has been set aside for this purpose. To address the food security challenges faced by many communities of Mpumalanga, the province has intensified Phezu Komkholo Mlimi, a program that provides mechanization and inputs support to all our farmers, and in particular, the household subsistence and emerging farmers. Madam Speaker, climate change is striking harder, faster, and much more aggressive than many of us expected. The last 5 years were the warmest on record. Natural disasters have become more frequent, and last year we witnessed an unprecedented high instances of extreme weather throughout the world. In our province, we first experienced a prolonged drought, which resulted in huge losses of our stock and grains farmers, destroying the little capital of our emerging farmers have. The drought was followed by floods and storms that wreaked havoc in many areas of our province. According to climate change experts, the failure of climate change mitigation and adaptation implementation strategy has been identified as the #1 risk by impact and #2 by likelihood over the next 10 years. Mpumalanga economic output is largely attributable to mining, power generation, and petrochemicals production that contribute to more than 85% of South Africa's carbon emissions in the country, making South Africa the biggest carbon emitter in the African continent. The Highveld region has a regional fossil fuel dependent economy that is predominantly based on coal, where most of the power stations are aging and will be decommissioned and phased out. As part of our mitigating and adaptation strategy, we have crafted a green economy development plan focusing on priorities that will unlock the interventions that can be implemented to support the just transition towards a low carbon and climate resilience economy and society. The just transit strategy will be more biased towards protecting the most vulnerable members of our society, which includes women, children, people with disabilities, and the poor. To mitigate against the potential food insecurity caused by climate change disasters, the Department of Agriculture, Land Administration, and Environmental Affairs, working with our private sector partners and donors, will soon launch the fresh vegetable gardens and fish production facilities known as aquaponics in various communities. This project will be driven by youth and women cooperatives in both urban and rural areas. We will also invest in climate change early warning systems, which will assist us to reduce the impact of disasters associated with drought, floods, and cyclones. We must double our efforts in our mitigation and adaptation strategies, more so because Mpumalanga ranks amongst the worst places in the world on air pollution. We need to strike a good balance between the need to create meaningful and quality jobs with the protection of our people against the ravages of environmental degradation. Madam Speaker, Mpumalanga is well positioned to become a gateway to Africa. We have the best road infrastructure, leading to our neighboring countries, Mozambique and the Kingdom of Eswatini, a port much closer to us than other ports and a combined market of about 30 million people. We also have easy access to 4 adjacent provinces to grow our exports and increase our market share. We have taken an informed decision to market Mpumalanga as a trade and investment destination to a number of overseas countries. As I have indicated, our recent excursion to the Sultanate of Oman resulted in commitments being made to increase our exports of fruits, nuts, vegetables, and meat to that state. Madam Speaker, you will recall that in March 2019, I led a delegation to Russia that culminated to the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding. As recently as 2 weeks ago, we hosted a delegation from Russia to firm up on the areas of collaboration outlined in our MOU. It was agreed that the areas of collaboration shall be industry and trade, tourism, culture, research, and education. The most fundamental reason for the existence of any government is to ensure the provision of services to its people. Local government, by its nature, Madam Speaker, and character, exists to provide quality and reliable services to our people. There has been instances of poor delivery on that commitment. In recognition of our commitment to ensure that government operates in an integrated institution, our priority is in ensuring that the people of Mpumalanga are afforded access to basic services. We are also committed to fighting corruption and maladministration wherever it rears its ugly head. Our communities have raised issues of wrongdoing in some of our municipalities. To this effect, we have instituted investigation in terms of Section 106 of the Municipal System Act in Dr. J.S. Moroka, Dr. Pixlika Isakaseme, and Governbeki local municipalities. Once these investigations have been completed and submitted to the Executive Council for consideration, we will make sure that the recommendations are fully implemented. We have also invoked Section 139(1)(b) of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa at Dr. J.S. Moroka local municipality during the month of January in order to arrest the rapidly deteriorating situation while ensuring that our people continue to have access to basic services. I would therefore want to appeal to our communities and all strategic stakeholders, Madam Speaker, in Dr. J.S. Moroka, to cooperate with the work of the administrator and give him undivided support. Madam Speaker, in line with our responsibility to dismantle the legacies of the past, we have taken a decision in line with the National Development Plan that any new development should be planned and designed in such a way that it breaks the legacy apartheid spatial development patterns. As part of our efforts towards integrated development, we have finalized the compilation of the Provincial Spatial Development Framework to facilitate spatial integration. Through the PSDF proposals, the province will, in the 2020-21 financial year, embark on a process to develop the Nkomazi Regional Spatial Development Framework, which will be implemented through the Project Management Unit to be located within Cocta Department. Some of the major challenges that hamper development in the province include continued urban sprawl caused by rapid urbanization in the province's fastest growing towns like Emalahleni, Yostifchwete, Governbeki, City of Mbombela, Nkomazi, Bushbuckridge, Tabachwewu, and Victor Kanye local municipalities. In response to urban sprawls, we will introduce processes that make it mandatory for departmental plans at all spheres of government to align all proposed sector programs to the relevant municipal spatial development framework and the provincial spatial development framework. This is in accordance with the district-based delivery model we are embracing in order to move us away from a fragmented approach of service delivery to eliminate bottlenecks and expedite delivery of services. Subscribing to the district delivery model will enable all tiers of government to operate in an integrated manner. Through this model, implementation shall be tracked more closely. We will be able to timeously intervene in order to improve the efficiency in local government. Once implemented, this model will result in government being able to holistically address the challenges associated with rapid urbanization in our cities. It will stimulate local economic drivers and allow government to plan efficiently when investing in infrastructure for integrated human settlements. Furthermore, we will avail the necessary resources for the identification of land parcels for servicing to facilitate future sustainable development in the province's fastest growing towns. Madam Speaker, our aging sewer infrastructure remains our biggest challenge, as we think that we are succeeding in resolving sewer spillages in some areas. New challenges emerges in other areas. Working with our partners like Sasol in Governbegi local municipality, we are confident that we will finally succeed in resolving these challenges wherever they are. Madam Speaker, we have taken a decision to focus our resources on servicing more sites and allowing our people who can afford to build themselves houses to do so. Going forward into the future, we will reduce the number of top structures, cater mostly for the child-headed homes, the elderly, the disabled, and the most vulnerable for top structures. A total of A total of 5,226 sites, including those ring-fenced for informal settlements, will be completed during the 2020-21 financial year, whilst 4,481 top structures will also be completed. We are mandated to establish integrated sustainable human settlement across the province, which are located in areas within close proximity to work opportunities and transport services. The following projects are prioritized for current financial year. Nkosi City project that is situated in the city of Mpumalanga municipality. The project will comprise of 1,747 fully subsidized dwelling houses, social housing with an estimation of 166 dwelling units, finance-linked individual subsidies program, which is planned to deliver 558 dwellings bonded houses, 9 preschools, 3 primary schools, 2 secondary schools, TVET College Training Center, and the provincial hospital. The smart city, which is planned to be in the Nkomazi municipality and will include an integrated human settlement, housing opportunities, ICT infrastructure, bulk municipal engineering infrastructure, commercial users, retail users, industrial users, logistics-related users, and agri-processing users. The Dingwell Integrated Human Settlement will be situated in the city of Mpumalanga municipality and will yield approximately 13,000 housing opportunities. The Matafeni Precinct Integrated Human Settlement is planned for the city of Mpumalanga municipality. It is anticipated that the project will yield approximately 15,000 housing opportunities. The Retiville Integrated Human Settlement is planned for the Mkondo local municipality and will yield approximately 620 housing units. The Secunda West Integrated Human Settlement in Governbegi municipality will yield approximately 9,000 housing opportunities. The Rondebosch Integrated Human Settlement in Stiefstwette local municipality will yield approximately 6,595 housing opportunities. Madam Speaker, the National Development Plan and the new regional developmental model fits comfortably well within the ambit of the Comprehensive Rural Development Program. All these programs envisage an integrated rural development enriched by the inclusive of local aspiration and knowledge and accelerated by improved coordination among government agencies and civil society. After careful consideration of the positive impact the CRDP had on our rural communities during era of its implementation, we have decided to reintroduce the program and align it with the district development model. These programs also subscribe to the need for a capable and developmental state, which actively intervenes to bring benefits that accrue across society and builds consensus among the various layers of society around long-term national objectives. They recognize that a capable and developmental state will need to improve its performance and increase public confidence through its policies, leadership, resources, institution, policy adherence, and accountability. The National Development Plan targets economic transformation with an ultimate intention to transform the social and human development conditions of the vast majority of the people. The ultimate objective is to bring fundamental change in the structure, system, institution, and patterns of ownership, management, and control of the economy. Madam Speaker, education lays a strong foundation for the development of all our talents and capabilities and advances the democratic transformation in society. In order for this to come to fruition, the education outcomes must continue to improve and respond to the needs of the economy and the society at large. There is an improvement in the provision of access to grade R, as 2019 statistics indicated that 93.8% of children aged 5 to 6 years received formal grade R. There is still a backlog in terms of access for a 0 to 4 years cohort, which stands at about 43%. The province was able to provide 9 schools with specialized grade R classrooms in the 2019-20 financial year. A total of 35 ECD specialized classrooms in 10 schools are to be provided during the 2020-21 financial year. The province will continue to improve ECD delivery through quality of teaching, practitioner qualifications, material development, and resourcing. We call upon the private sector to join hands with government in the provision of state-of-the-art ECD centers across the province. Our investment in education has begun to show results, as statistics indicate that there is now gender parity in our schools. Enrollment, retention, and throughput ratios have improved substantially up to grade 9. The introduction of the Second Chance program for young people has energized social cohesion programs. As part of our innovation strategy, we have improved a curriculum differentiation for more effective and inclusive education, as well as the implementation of the 3-stream curriculum model. All these measures are geared towards better improvement on curriculum choices, reduce repetition, deepen quality of learning outcomes, reduce the dropout rates, and improve the quality of teaching and learning. One of the biggest developmental challenges facing Mpumalanga in particular, and South Africa in general, is the high number of children who do not learn to read for meaning in the early years of schooling. In an effort to ensure that our 10-year-olds read for meaning, we will expand the early grade reading intervention strategy for 300 more schools in collaboration with academics at various universities and international donor organizations. Working with the private sector partners, we are making concerted effort to increase skills development and competencies to prepare learners for the fourth industrial revolution. The process of developing a curriculum to introduce digital skills teaching, learning, coding, and robotics is in its final stages. The coding and robotics curriculum will develop learners' ability to solve problems, to think critically, work collaboratively and creatively, function in a digital and information-driven world, apply digital and ICT skills, and transfer these skills to solve everyday problems. The department will be piloting coding and robotics curriculum across 100 schools in the province in the 2020 academic year. Madam Speaker, as I have indicated earlier on, the province has now joined other provinces that are performing at 80% and above with regards to grade 12 results. However, there is a concern with a decreased uptake and performance in maths and accounting. We will conduct advocacy campaigns in the main, targeting primary school learning in order to increase awareness and participation in maths, science, and technology subject at an early stage. As part of our efforts to improve the uptake of these subjects, 88 primary and secondary schools were provided with maths laboratories to enhance teaching and learning in these key subjects. We will work hard to sustain and improve on this through a continuous search for excellence in all areas of basic education. The province's target for grade 12 class in 2020 is 83%. Education infrastructure is a crucial component of learning environment in schools. There is strong evidence that high-quality infrastructure facilities better instruction, improves student outcomes, and reduces dropout rates, among other benefits. In an effort to inspire confidence and bring the dignity of our learners as promised in our SOPA for July 2019, our boarding school strategy saw the birth of the 6th boarding school in the province, which is the Tabachwewu boarding school. It opened its doors in January this year. An additional 6 new schools will be constructed in this current financial year. The bulk of our education infrastructure budget continued to be biased towards the basic service projects. To date, 98.5% of our schools meet the minimum norms and standards for infrastructure. We are working towards completely eradicating all pit latrines in our schools in a few years to come, and the eradication of unsafe structures in the following years ahead. The province has prioritized the alleviation of overcrowding in urban areas. We have therefore conducted needs assessment for additional classrooms in fast-growing towns and all other urban areas. We will commence with construction of 7 new schools in 5 fast-growing towns, 2 schools in Bombela, 1 school in Secunda, 1 school in Emelo, 1 school will be built in Lightenberg, and lastly, 1 will be built in Emalahleni. As part of our commitment and in line with the Freedom Charter principles of opening the doors of learning and culture to all by creating equal education opportunities, we have planned to build the schools for the deaf, which will be housed within the city of Mbombela. The project is at the design stage. As part of our drive to address the shortage of rare skills, we have sent 281 learners to study in Russia. Mesita has also partnered with us, and as a result, they have assisted us with sending 81 students overseas. Our bursary schemes has assisted more than 3,334 learners who are studying in various fields like medicine, your veterinary science, information technology, aviation, education, and engineering. The Artisan Development Program in partnership with HydroArc was set up to deal and address the issue of artisan development in the province as envisaged in our National Development Plan. This has thus far produced 2,950 artisans ranging from welding and pipe fabricators, boiler makers, safety and quality officers. The program has contributed immensely by changing the lives of young people who would otherwise have faced a very bleak future. MRTT continues to produce quality students, especially in the hospitality industry. Samugeliso Mataba from Ganyamazan started his training as assistant chef with MRTT in 2015 and continued with his studies in professional cookery. He obtained a diploma in culinary arts and an advanced diploma in culinary arts. Today, Samugeliso is doing an internship program in the United States of America. At Colorado Springs at the Broadmoor Hotel, which is one of the biggest hotels in Colorado. Samugeliso is the third MRT learner leaving to start a career internationally, and the fourth one will be leaving to Canada soon. The NTT is indeed changing the lives and producing skilled learners who are ready to compete globally. In response to the call made by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, on the need for short-term courses, we will, in partnership with our private sector partners, intensify and increase the number of our existing programs to 25,000 young people trained in various skills during the next financial year. Madam Speaker, our desire and dream to build a skills and innovation hub has finally come true. We have procured a site around Emalahleni and have budgeted 16 million rand for the initial phase of this project. The Provincial Skills and Innovation Hub will contribute to economic growth in all economic sectors of the province, offering opportunities through skills development, incubation and innovation and emerging technologies. Most of our health facilities, Madam Speaker, have reached the end of their lifespan. Few years ago, we began investing in the infrastructure, and some of those projects are now nearing completion. The new Middleburg District Hospital will soon be completed. We are also at an advanced stage with the upgrading of Bethel District Hospital, and the upgrading of Mamitlake District Hospital is continuing in earnest. The construction of Mpumalanga Regional Hospital and Ganyamazane CHC have already started. We will continue with refurbishment of our oncology, chemotherapy ward, and refurbishment of nursing accommodation at Rob Ferreira Tertiary Hospital. The Department of Health will also complete the construction of Pankop CHC. During construction phase, this project will create more than 500 job opportunities, and once these facilities are operational, a significant number of permanent professionals and support staff job will be created. We will also use this project to place our newly trained young people for work experience and learnership. Madam Speaker, crime that was perpetrated in our hospitals suggested that criminals were beginning to turn our health facilities into war zones. We had to do something about it before it escalated to even more serious incidents. To this end, we are busy with the installation of turnstiles at Witbank, Hospital, Middleburg, and Mpumalanga Hospital. We are finalizing the appointment of service providers for the remaining hospitals and CACs in the current financial year. We are also in a process of appointing service providers for the digitalization of security systems, such as the installation of CCTV cameras and panic buttons in our health facilities. To improve patients' waiting time in our health facilities, we conducted waiting time survey and developed quality improvement plans to close identified gaps. We are also purchasing 67 new ambulances to improve turnaround time and equipping all those that were purchased recently with the necessary life-saving equipments. Madam Speaker, all these initiatives are meant to respond to the principles of the Freedom Charter, which demands that there shall be free medical care and hospitalization that shall be provided to all with special care for mothers and children. We are also laying a foundation for the introduction of the National Health Insurance. Madam Speaker, one of the most important objectives of this administration is the advancement of previously disadvantaged people, especially women and young girls in particular. This administration will not rest until we ensure that we preserve the dignity of young girls in each corner of this province. This administration will ensure that no girl child misses a day of school because of lack of sanitary towels. This is why the provincial government, through the Department of Social Development, will continue with the mass rollout of sanitary towels in every district with a particular focus in rural areas. In an effort to empower young people who are not in a formal workspace, the provincial government is currently rolling out support to 90 youth development centers across the province. These centers deliver services include a provision of acceleration training of computer skills, entrepreneurship development, life skills, job preparedness workshops, and career guidance. These youth development centers will strategically position Mpumalanga youth to be amongst the first to benefit from the Presidential Youth Empowerment Intervention Programs as announced by His Excellency, the President of the Republic in his State of the Nation address just 2 weeks ago. Madam Speaker, multiple and complex challenges we are navigating through have opened up opportunities for us to partner with private sector. We are very fortunate to have corporate citizens that have chosen the path of becoming part of the communities where their business are located. We call upon all companies that operate from this province to likewise make a meaningful contribution to the well-being of our people. Some of the corporate citizens that are walking the talk and are contributing in a meaningful way includes Sasol, Exaro, South 32, Glencore, Anglo-American, Sapi, Mondi, Siriti, RCL Foods, and Mafube Colliery, who have taken up the responsibility to produce higher standards of living and quality of life for the communities that surround them and still maintain profitability for stakeholders. These companies have succeeded in forging strong bonds between themselves, their employees, the communities around them, and government at all spheres. For the 2020-21 financial year, South 32 has committed itself to finish building a 32 million rand community health center at Rockdale in Steve Tshwete municipality. They've also committed to complete an 18 million rand clinic in Paula, which is in Witbank, and also to finish the installation of water and sewer to houses in Pola valued at around 7 million rand, and to complete their infrastructure projects like the egg producing plant in Ritzspraits. Sasol has also committed itself to continue supporting municipalities around Garsibande district with special focus to Gavonbeki local municipality. As part of preparing our youth for the fourth industrial revolution in schools within Mpumalanga, Sasol has sponsored teachers to be trained as master's teachers for robotics and coding. Through Sasol Foundation, Sasol has created access to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, high quality, low-cost multimedia and rich textbooks for use by learners and teachers. These are available free of charge online. To date, a total of 180 volumes of books have been completed and published online. Glencoe, another socially responsible corporate citizen, is in this province, has built schools, community centers, low-cost houses, roads, and supported small businesses across the province to a tune of 133 million rands. At Mashishini, the company has in culture and sports. It also converted our old public works building into a TVET college, which opened its doors for the first time last year with 500 students. As part of upskilling unemployment youth and increase their employability and open up opportunities for them to start their own businesses, Exaro has invested more than 40 million rands in skills development of more than 220 young people. These young people are trained over a period of 12 to 18 months on the latest digital technologies that are compatible with the fourth industrial revolution. Exaro is also providing free Wi-Fi interconnectivity in Siatutuga Township in Belfast. The company has completed a number of infrastructural projects in various townships in Kangala and Garsibande district. All these companies are involved in portable skills development, which includes, amongst others, artisanship. The Mafube Colliery recently donated a clinic. Madam Speaker, social cohesion is by and large a glue that keeps societies from falling apart. It is therefore important that we invest heavily positive attitude and norms that include trust, a sense of belonging to this beautiful province, and the willingness to participate and assist where we are able to. For this province to prosper, we need to individually and collectively turn our social capital, our time and efforts into social cohesion, which represents the good that we do for the community, especially those that are the most vulnerable. We will continue to host our signature events whilst promoting the culture of learning and reading by building more libraries for our communities. Personal safety, Madam Speaker, is a human right. It is a necessary condition for human development, improved quality of life, and enhanced productivity. When our communities do not feel safe and live in fear, the country's economic development and the people's well-being are affected, hindering their ability to achieve their potential. Whilst we have seen a reduction in some kinds of crime, and we welcome that, there has been an increase in others like gender-based violence. The safety of communities should therefore be measured by the extent to which the most vulnerable in society, women in particular, feel and are safe from crime and the conditions that breed it. Through effective, coordinated responses of all stakeholders, including police, business community, civil society, we will work harder to eradicate all forms of violence, particularly that is directed against the most vulnerable members of our society. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, we have witnessed the the loss of integrity in some of the institutions of state, business, political and other organizations. We have learned hard lessons about the vigilance needed to stop lawlessness, greed and selfishness from taking root. My office, in its continued endeavor to fight corruption in the public service, has established a vetting field unit to aid the huge backlogs faced by the state security agency. We are currently considering various options to conduct lifestyle audits in the public service and recruiting more forensic investigators to deal with reported cases of fraud and corruption. In essence, Madam Speaker, we must be the embodiment of the province we want to create. We must embody the virtues that befit the glorious paradise of the East. It is our responsibility to ensure that we serve as a moral compass that will ignite the flame for the moral regeneration of our province that yearns for. In this year of unity, social economic renewal and nation building, we must be reminded of the ideals of Utata Nelson Mandela, who after 27 years of imprisonment preached a message of unity in diversity, non-racialism, and most importantly, peace. Let every day of our lives and every decision we make as servants of the people of Mpumalanga be informed by a greater responsibility to advance the interest of the people of Mpumalanga and all those who call it home. I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Premier, for the well-delivered State of the Province address. Honorable members, let me acknowledge my colleague is here, the Speaker of KZN, Menon Tembego Boise. And the former chairperson of NCOP and also Ambassador of USA, Mr. Mahlangu. Nino Mahlangu is also here. Thank you very much. The Honorable Premier and Honorable members are requested to remain inside the legislature chamber for a group photo. Only honorable members are requested to remain inside the legislature chamber for a group photo. The Honorable Premier and honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to a luncheon which will be served at the marquee next to the government complex exit gate after adjournment of this sitting. Honorable members and guests are requested to remain at their places until the procession has left the chamber. That concludes the business of the day. The House is adjourned until Friday, 28th of February 2020 at 10 in this very same chamber.